Hello, everybody. Welcome to Feasting on the Word for this final Wednesday of April the 30th, 2025. As I've stated, this was a discipline that we picked up in Lent way back at the time that we then moved this or migrated this online as a result of all the COVID lockdowns way long time ago. But we've maintained this discipline ever since as a church, with only a couple of weeks here and there that there hasn't been a new opportunity to engage God's inspired word in this way. It's an ancient rhythm, and so for me, perhaps it's my own discipline, if you've not maintained it yourself, that I do for myself. And I hope it is something that you've also come to see the value in. It's something that makes God's inspired word manageable for us and puts it in a time frame that's also reasonable, that we can fit into our daily lives. Manageable in the sense that we don't take on the Bible feeling as though we've got to read a whole book in a sitting, or trying to figure out how to read it and how much to read and in what order to read it. It just takes a small passage of Scripture, and it gives us that small passage multiple times so that we can really sit with it more, so that we can live with it. It's likened to feasting on the Word in the sense of hearing it once, like taking a bite, hearing it a second time, like kind of chewing on it a little bit, savoring its flavors, hearing it a third time, really kind of beginning to get into it, and hearing it a fourth time, like swallowing it into our lives, incorporating it into our lives. So in this discipline, we use 4 different translations as a way of modernizing it a little bit. The New Revised Standard, the Message, the Contemporary English, and the New International Version. And in between the readings, we intersperse silence. A minute of silence following the first reading, a minute following the second reading, 3 minutes following the third reading, and then concluding with the fourth and final reading. And the longer period of silence is intended as an opportunity for us to turn to God in conversation, or another way to express this would be prayer, that we might take the impact of this Scripture and how it has encouraged us, inspired us, confused us, whatever it might be, and we take that to God in a time of prayer. I find it helpful to have something to write with and something to write on nearby, so that I can use those as the basis for that conversation with God, and you might find that helpful too, and can pause this briefly to collect those things if you so desire. But without further delay, let's get into our discipline for this week. Our passage is Luke chapter 24, and we're going to read verses 30 through 31 and then jump to verse 38 through 43. Actually, let's change that to just verses 38 through 43 from the Gospel of Luke. So beginning with the New Revised Standard. Jesus said to them, "Why are you frightened, and why do doubts arise in your hearts? Look at my hands and my feet. See that it is I myself. Touch me and see, for a ghost does not have flesh and bones as you see that I have." And when he had said this, he showed them his hands and his feet. Yet for all their joy, they were still disbelieving and wondering. And he said to them, "Have you anything here to eat?" They gave him a piece of broiled fish, and he took it and ate it in their presence. Our second reading of Luke chapter 24, verses 38 through 43 from the Message translation. While they were saying all this, Jesus appeared to them and said, "Peace be with you." They thought they were seeing a ghost and were scared half to death. He continued with them, "Don't be upset, and don't let all these doubting questions take over. Look at my hands, look at my feet. It's really me. Touch me. Look me over from head to toe. A ghost doesn't have muscle and bone like this." As he said this, he showed them his hands and feet. They still couldn't believe what they were seeing. It was too much. It seemed too good to be true. He asked, "Do you have any food here?" They gave him a piece of leftover fish they had cooked. He took it and ate it right before their eyes. Our third reading of Luke chapter 24, verses 38 through 43 from the contemporary English version with our longer period of silence to follow. But Jesus said, "Why are you so frightened? Why do you doubt? Look at my hands and my feet and see who I am. Touch me and find out for yourselves. Ghosts don't have flesh and bones as you see I have." After Jesus said this, he showed them his hands and his feet. The disciples were so glad and amazed that he could not believe it. Jesus then asked them, "Do you have something to eat?" They gave him a piece of broiled fish. He took it and ate it as they watched. Our fourth and final reading of Luke chapter 24, verses 38 through 43 from the New International Version. Jesus said to them, "Why are you troubled, and why do doubts rise in your minds? Look at my hands and my feet. It is I myself. Touch me and see. A ghost does not have flesh and bones, as you see I have." When he had said this, he showed them his hands and feet. And while they still did not believe it because of joy and amazement, he asked them, "Do you have anything here to eat?" They gave him a piece of broiled fish, and he took it and ate it in their presence. This is the inspired word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.